Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, and we're here with a bit of a surprise video for, well, everyone, myself included, I think. Maybe you remember a while ago, I was making a series where we were building Jurassic Park in Zoo Tycoon 2. Now, I stopped that once I got hired to work on a film, and sort of kept building it on in my off time, you know, in between shoots, and I figured I'd surprise everyone, well, right about now with it. The issue is, I finished this park up maybe 2 weeks ago, and then the game crashed completely. Like, it wouldn't let me load this save. I thought it was dead. And then yesterday, I don't know what happened, I picked it back up just to play a little for fun, and here it is. It's all here. It actually loaded. I don't know what happened, but I'm thrilled, and now we're gonna be able to go through and see Jurassic Park. That said, unlike my Jurassic World video, we're not going to do this in first-person mode because, well, I've tried about 5 times now to record it, and it crashes before we even get through the first exhibit. So we're just going to go from this kind of overhead view and just do a nice little walkthrough. And, of course, we got to start with the iconic gate because what could it possibly be hiding in there? King Kong? Sorry, I had to. We'd go over here, where we get into our nice, totally not Zoo Tycoon 2 themed Jeep station. Start us off with a little drive through the jungle, and to, of course, our big entry exhibit with the Parasaurolophuses, and where is he? They're here somewhere. They're here somewhere. Ah, there we go. And the Brachiosaurs. That's so fitting, actually, that they're in the trees, like they're browsing, like that first one was. Oh, man. I love it. So right about here, I would say, we can very safely assume we would be hearing, Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park. And, of course, stunned and speechless, we would proceed up here. Don't judge the little bits of grassland. You can't see it in first person if you go immediately to your left, and that's what I was planning to do. So, we go over here. We got the visitor center alongside a nice little pond for it. Yeah, it looks a lot better. There we go. Okay, so we can zoom in a little bit, but not go all the way back. We got the T-Rex skeleton and the Brachiosaur skeleton that would be inside of the visitor center normally. I don't know, I was really happy with how this little bit came out, actually, because that's the JPOG visitor center, yeah, but we sort of flipped it around and gave it a custom gate that someone else made online, and it looks fantastic. So, let's see, actually, how much we can proceed with just a zoomed out or zoomed in. Man, that's actually really weird and awkward. Whatever. Let's just go right back in here and zoom in if we want to. So this is our Dilophosaur exhibit, which is based kind of on the books, where there was a lot of water in there. We had the 2 Dilophosauruses going about a mating ritual when they were interrupted by a T-Rex. So we do have 2 Dilophosauruses in there. I think, well, there's one, obviously. That's actually a beautiful shot of it right there. Let's take a look. Yep. Just sort of hiding around. Okay, well, we can't do that. Hiding around in the foliage. I love it, man. I love it. And can we see the other one here anywhere? No? It's alright. That's alright. It's still a really cool shot. And then on the other side, over here, we have Proceratosaurus, which this was, I think, the first or second episode that we filmed as we were still like trying to make a series out of this. Okay, I'm not going to zoom in that much because it just started lagging. There we go. There she is. One of them. This works out because, like, they sort of have a cave right there. Like, I kind of forgot about what these exhibits were like, and now it's all just coming back to me. That's cool, though. I like that they're just darting around the rocks. For, like, smaller theropods, that makes so much sense. Proceed over here where we have our Triceratops exhibit. And, right, I don't know if you guys remember. So we sort of gave them... Oh, are they fighting? Oh, they are totally doing something. Oh, geez, yeah, they are fighting. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he's not happy. Well, that actually, again, works out because this was supposed to be the bit that was styled after where they found the sick Triceratops. And it just lay down for us all beaten up. This is kind of perfect. Okay, so needless to say, the game crashed. Probably will crash again. But here we are with the Triceratops again resting in the spot where we were supposed to have one lying down. So it's just really perfect so far. Anyway, moving on. A nice little JPOG rest area in the corner just to kick it old school a little bit. And I think this was one of the last exhibits that we did for the series, which is the Metriocanthosaurus exhibit. It's really long. I think there's a pair of Metrios in here. They're really cool designs, even though they don't really hold up scientifically with how upright they are. But still. And over here, this is a Stegosaur and Styracosaur exhibit, which I kind of tried to model a little after... what was I saying? Right, after the scene in The Lost World, where it's more of a temperate, tropical, well, temperate rainforest, but also a bit more opened up with like a bunch of dirt in it. Does that make any sense? No? Probably not. Whatever. Well, there's like the river that they would cross, but there's like a lot of sort of mud and muck for them to walk around in instead of just being a thick forest like so many other places on the island would be. And then those two stegs are fighting as well, and that one just got messed up. Alright. Yeah, for the Styracosaurs, they don't actually appear in any of the films. However, they're on the park roster in the books, which is how they managed to get a slot in our park here. And then I believe over on the other side, we have a giant herd of Gallimimus, which this exhibit is very much styled after their scene, in which, you know, the Rex would come out of this forest right over here. Here's the giant field in which they stampede through, and the logs where Grant and the kids hide. So I feel pretty good about this exhibit. I think I was able to keep it pretty close to what the canon would have been, assuming that that was their exhibit and not just a random field of whatever. Let's see. This here, what is this? Oh, right. These are ankylosaurs in here somewhere. There they are. Which I think they make like a small cameo in Jurassic Park 3 where they're just walking through the forest. Yeah, that was their first appearance, was Jurassic Park 3, so I didn't really know what to model their exhibit like. But considering they were in the forest in that one, and then in Jurassic World they were also sort of hanging out in the forest, I figured they probably like a thick forested exhibit. Just my 2 cents on that. But yeah, nothing too crazy about that one. Oh, this was a fun one. These were the Segisaurs, which again, they were in the book, and they were also on the original map of Isla Sorna, but they never made an appearance in anything else. Regardless, they're really small theropods, kind of cute. Very much styled like Compies or Troodons or something. I like their models though, they're pretty nice. Alright, so this exhibit was, I believe, the last one that we actually did in the series portion of building this park, which was for the Hadrosaurs. Now, in the books, I believe these were Maiasaura, at least in The Lost World they were, whereas in the original novel, it was just unnamed Hadrosaurs. Regardless, they were prey animals. There were some pretty cool scenes with them in both of the novels, so yeah, not much to say there. Definitely felt like they deserved to be included for their role in the books, as they were pretty major characters. Alright, this exhibit I really love. This is kind of a valley full of waterfalls for the Baryonyx. Now, Baryonyx was on the original park map, again, for Jurassic Park, and its exhibit was shown to be in the mountains, kind of close to where Rexy's exhibit was. So I kind of figured, alright, well, clearly it's going to be a lot of water, so let's just, you know, fill it with cliffs and waterfalls and just really have fun with it. And I love the way that this looks. We have the Baryonyx going around, fishing, just minding their own business. It's fantastic. Of course, neighboring them, like I mentioned, is our giant T-Rex paddock, which has the big drop-off, as it does in the movie, which now it's just a matter of finding Rexy herself. She should be stomping around in here somewhere. But where? Ah, okay. Yeah, zooming in. Not a good idea. There she is. Look at her. Eating that little Gallimimus. Another perfect scene. Let's see. And then over here, just kind of continue off of the Rex exhibit, we do have the restrooms that Gennaro ran off to hide inside. And, well, that, of course, it didn't work out for him all that well. Alright, now this is an exhibit that I was really happy with, but you kind of needed to be in first person to fully enjoy. But let's just say this is an abandoned laboratory. And this is canon with the Jurassic Park game, because among these abandoned buildings and machines in the wreckage are the Troodons. Now, the Troodons only appeared in the game that was released by Telltale, and they were terrifying. They had a venomous bite. They reproduced by laying eggs inside of a still living and yet brain-dead human. They're terrifying. I don't know. One of them just was here and they ran off. But regardless, this was a really... Oh, there we go. Regardless, this was a really fun exhibit to make. And I kind of like how it came out. Let's just hope that they stay quarantined in here and leave the rest of the park alone. Continuing on this way, we have the Raptor paddock, which, you know, originally was only that big. I decided to give them a bit more room, but still try to replicate the original look of the paddock of just like very small, walled off, thick forest. So we have one in here. We have the entire pack that was in the original movie of 3. Okay, again, we should not zoom in like that. 2 of them are kind of brownish, and one stands out as gray, I believe. So, okay, they're just darting around. Ah, man. And here we have the viewing area, which you can chill on and watch as they get fed cows or goats or whatever it is that they might be fed on a particular day. Over here is another exhibit that's kind of based on the game. It's the Herrerasaurs. Now, in the game, the Herrerasaurus is... Wait, am I... Yes? No, we're in the right area. There we go. There they are. I don't know why they're so upset. Probably because the game's lagging. The Herrerasauruses in the game were actually attacking the player right as they were on the Bone Crusher coaster. I think that's what it's called, the Bone Crusher. Regardless, I kind of tried to replicate that by having this track right here, as though maybe the coaster goes over their exhibit or something like that. It's not great. I'm aware it's not great, but it's the closest I could possibly do to try to replicate that scene in Zoo Tycoon. So, A for effort, maybe? Oh, this is perfect. So, I let loose a couple of compies all around the park, because in the original book... Oh, great, Stegosaurus has escaped from its exhibit. Well, we're almost done, so it kind of makes sense for everything to start going to hell. I let loose some compies around the park because in the original book, they were seen as the cleanup crew. They would go around and, I guess, eat the feces of the larger dinosaurs. I don't think that matches up with actual science, but I thought it would make sense for them to just be running around. So there's 6 compies total around the park somewhere. They're male and female, so they can totally breed if need be. But yeah, nice little touch. Over here, another exhibit just from the book. This is the Sierradactylus aviary. So we have 2 in here, even though there was 4 in the book. I just didn't want to overdo it with with the models. Yeah, very sort of cliffy exhibit for them to be able to perch and fly around. Water for them to fish, because their exhibit was sort of in the original Cretaceous cruise that was featured in the book. That the Dilophosaurus were also on. yeah, not much more to say, I guess. I really wish that we were more in first person to be able to fully enjoy this, but, you know, whatever. Still a pretty cool exhibit. And I want to say that leaves us with only one more that I was actually able to make. It was this final sauropod swamp. Now, in this exhibit, we have the Mamenchisaurs, which were in the Lost World, of course. We have 2 of them, as per canon. We have Apatosaurs, which in the original Jurassic Park books, they replaced the Brachiosaurs, or I guess the Brachiosaurs eventually replaced them. And, you know, depending on the version you read, it was either Apatosaur or Camarasaur. I went with Apatosaur because that was what it was in the version that I read. And somewhere around here, there we go, we also have Dryosaurus and Microceratus, both featured in the books as the smaller dinos, and I figured I'd throw them into this big old swamp with the sauropods to kind of replicate that cleanup crew idea that the compies had, and also because, you know, I thought it'd make for a cool dynamic with, like, these really tiny dinosaurs darting around while the big ones slowly lumber, and maybe they knock off, like, fruit from the trees, which is where all these berries are coming from, you know? And then these guys scamper in and get their meal. I do love that this Microceratus looks to be styled almost exactly as the Jurassic World model was, according to their website. I love it. Wow, no more crashes, I guess? Until, yeah. Because the rest of this I just blocked off because I didn't dare fill the rest of the park, considering this one is already crashing so much. But yeah, no, I was pleased with how this park came out. I'm shocked that it's crashing as bad as it is, and it won't even really let me into first person, considering Jurassic World did, and I feel like we put a lot more into that. Let's just get a nice little zoom in shot of the Brachiosaur, because we didn't really get that when we were going through the tour earlier. But yeah, I guess that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That is my little return to YouTube. I really wish that we could have made this a little longer, a little more in-depth, but alas, this is all the game can allow. Yeah, I will use this time to also tell you that I will be doing playthroughs for Jurassic World Evolution the night that it drops. You can expect the very first videos of it on here. So I will see all of you lovely folks then. Until then, you know, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of this park. Please subscribe, like this video, it all helps me out so much, and I will see you guys probably for Jurassic World Evolution if I don't upload anything before then. So, take care, guys. See ya.